Hi guys, I've had one of those days and I decided I needed a little playtime. So I turned on the camera and thought I would take you along with me. If you want to learn how to make these fun, easy little dangles for your journals, stick around and I'm going to show you how. I saw these a while ago on Angie Garcia Art's YouTube channel. The only thing was, she made these using UV resin. I don't have any, and I don't like to play with chemicals, but I wanted to make them. And I thought, how can I make them? You can make them using glossy accents, pouring that all in there, but that takes forever to dry. And then I remembered, I have this ultra thick embossing enamel. And I bought this like 100 years ago. And let's put it this way, I bought it when making paper beads were in. That's how long I've had it. And I thought, this should work. It also gives like a glass finish. So you need that. You need, of course, an embossing dammer. You can use a pad, but the dabber, if you have that, he works perfect in there. What you're going to need are these 1 inch, 25 millimeter, not milliliters, 25 millimeter hoop rings. These are, let's see if I can get the camera to zoom in. These are for jewelry making. And you see they open up. And then you can slide beads and stuff on it to make earrings. But we're going to use them to make a dangly. So you need those. I believe I probably bought them at a jewelry store a long time ago when I had them, when I made jewelry. You can use some bulb pins. You're going to need some little split rings. 5 or 6 millimeter is good. Don't go any smaller because you'll just make yourself crazy. You need a 1 inch hole punch. Technically you don't, but it makes life easier. And, oh, they don't have to be circles. I have some digitals here, and you don't have to have circles. We will be cutting out a circle. These are by Tracy Fox at Love Junk Journal. These are already the size, so that works out lovely. But I can use any of the others as long as my punch will fit. As long as, see, I can punch it out, then it can be any shape. Same. These are from Louisa Hensel. These are from, how do you say that? J. Lee Lou Designs. And these I dug out were Art House Whimsy. That's where this funky little lady came from. So as long as you can visualize your picture or anything in the middle of this circle, you can use it. And sometimes it's fun to go a little different. I tend to do a lot of botanical, so that's what I use. Oh, and you don't have to have digitals. You can use pictures out of books, or you can stamp something. You can paint something. We just need to cut it out in a 1 inch circle. If by chance you don't have a punch, you can still, let's say you wanted this design and it's in a book, you can lay it down and trace around it with a pencil or pen and then cut it out by hand. And if you do that so that it's smooth, after you glue it, use either a little sandpaper disc thing or a sandpaper block to sand around the edges to make it smoother. But I'm going to go with, everyone has digitals. Okay, that's probably overkill, but most of you will have some kind of digitals. You'll cut it out with a 1 inch punch, and let's get to it. Enough chitter chatter. Okay, first thing is deciding which picture to use. Let's see, I don't have a butterfly, so let's use this little butterfly. Gonna center him, or try to, and punch it out. Okay, good. And see, I printed this on some old paper. So if that's the case, you may want to print it on another page, punch out another circle. Let me grab a piece of paper here. Here we go. I'm going to punch out another circle. And I'm going to, where's my little thing? I'm going to glue them together. Technically, I could have punched out another image. Oh, maybe that's what I'm going to do. Let's do it two-sided. Let's take this flower instead of a plain boring white one. And now I'm going to glue it to the back side so I have like a double one. But I'm going to look to make sure they're both facing upward. So when it spins around, yeah, perfect. So now I've glued the two together. And I'm going to take my little, take your ring, and I recommend, take your little split ring thingy. Where's my pliers? Open it up. Oh, this one's already open. And place it through, oops. Remember you saw this little loop? Let's see if it'll zoom in. Or shook. Yeah, see that little loop thing? Take your ring and place it in there. It's hard to do this without looking. Wait, I gotta first look at it. Okay. See, I put it, can we see that? There. I've got it in there. I will close this up. Oh my goodness. I'm not used to doing this. Oops, I'm not used to doing this on camera. And then you have to put this thing back into that thing. And now I would recommend pressing it down. Ooh, there we go. So that it's not, do you see that? So it's no longer sticking up and it's not sharp. Otherwise, okay, so, and now we have the little ring on it. Later we'll attach the ball pin, or you can do a paper clip, whatever you like. I recommend putting these little rings on them first. I find they dangle much nicer than if you don't use them. Okay, we have that. Now we're going to apply a little glue to the metal ring so that it can stick to the paper, which will make our life easier when we want to emboss it. Okay, let me put this in here. And I'm going to put this down. I do try to make sure the ring, the ring and stuff is at the top. Okay, I see this is going to be, whenever I do something on camera, I'm going to be all butterfingers. Okay, got it. So I center it and let it, now I'm going to let it dry. Okay, you can use art glitter glue to glue it on, or these glossy accents. I have this like liquid glue gun thing that I love. This is Novo Deluxe Adhesive. It works good too. I wouldn't use a PVA glue because it will take probably forever to dry. Unless if you have maybe like an Aleene's super quick tacky glue. Those tend to set up quite quickly. So while we let that dry for a minute, and then we're going to take, let me get my little embossing tray, and I'm going to take my dabber. If I had cut this out freehand out of a circle because you didn't have a punch, that's where I would use this or this to sand around the outer edges a bit so you don't have paper there. Okay, now I'm going to dab here. Add some powder. Okay. Gotta remember to stay in the camera zone. I'm not used to having to worry about that. I tap it off. Also, I try to wipe off if I have a lot on the wire. Okay, and then we're going to emboss it. Let me have a pad here. Oops, there it is. I know someone's going to tell me to emboss from underneath. I like to live dangerously. I go from top. Wait, I want to first see if I can get a good hold of this so I can show you. Maybe it's easier if I have the pliers. Oops. Let's see. I'm going to try to show you how this looks when it's melting. Then let's see if the camera will focus. Starting to melt, and I'm gonna put it down, let it cool. Oops, put it down, let it cool for a second. If your ring happened to come away from the paper, just let it cool and it'll melt right in together again. See, the one coat, I don't know if it's gonna focus. Let's try. Ignore the red hands. A red ink pad decided to leak out all over the place. And of course it had to be lumberjack red, so I got nice bright red hands today. But you see, here, it's not smooth, it's a little bubbly. But for the first coat, that's fine. It's cooled off now, and I'm going to do it again. Usually I give this at least 2 coats. I find 3 is, you can do it, but 2 is usually sufficient. I put a little dab of Duya. Add some more embossing powder. Move that. I like to move the embossing powder out of the way. Really like glass finish. See all those little orange skin, like the cellulite on my butt, they disappeared. And I find that looks really cool. And the longer you melt this, if it's not flowing together, just keep heating it for a second, and then the embossing, it tends to like melt and then flow across. So there, that's it. Look how easy that was. If you wanted the back side, I didn't emboss, but there's nothing saying you can't. Let's see if this is cool enough. Yeah. Let's give it a coat. So this thing will be really shiny. And put some embossing powder on. Try to get it out of there. Of course, trying to hold that ring is the hardest part. Okay, let's... Okay, if you don't have to wait for it to cool off, while it's still fluid, you can dunk it right into the embossing powder and it'll stick to it. You don't need to use the dabber again. And now I will continue embossing the second dangle. That's it. Starting to flow. Okay. Can you see it? Now, gotta be careful to hold it for a second. We'll give it a second to cool off. But basically, that's it. Now, both sides are shiny embossed. I don't think it needs any more than that. And all you have to do is then attach your ball pin through the little ring, and you can add it to a page or on the spine of your journal, anywhere you like. Or as Angie did, she used paper clips, because I think she was using these for hidden, if I remember correctly, to add to the at the bottom of a hidden paper clip. That's also a possibility. So you see, here we go. We have some little dangles. I hope you enjoyed that. Now off to your craft table and make some, and make some of your own. Be sure to, comment, thumbs up, subscribe, all that jazz. Until the next Play With Me time, choose.